Imagine everything squeezed into a tiny point, smaller than a pinprick. That was our universe billions of years ago. Then, bang! An enormous explosion, the Big Bang, happened. The universe burst outward, growing bigger and bigger. It wasn't like an explosion on Earth. Imagine a balloon being inflated instead. As the universe expanded, it cooled down. This cooling was crucial for everything that came next. Over a vast amount of time, this cooling allowed tiny particles to form. These particles were like building blocks. They came together to create the first atoms, the basic ingredients of everything we see around us. The universe was no longer just a sea of energy and light. It had taken the first steps towards becoming the complex and wondrous place it is today. The early universe was not empty. It was filled with giant clouds of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, the lightest elements. Over millions of years, gravity, the force that makes things fall down, started to pull these gases together. Imagine these clouds getting denser and denser, squeezing tighter and tighter. This squeezing created immense pressure and heat at the center of these clouds. Finally, the pressure and heat became so intense that a star was born. A star is like a giant ball of fire, a nuclear reactor in space. Inside a star, atoms are constantly colliding and fusing together, releasing enormous amounts of energy in the form of light and heat. The first stars were massive and powerful, but they didn't last forever. When they died, they exploded, scattering the elements they had created far out into space. These elements would eventually become the building blocks for new stars, planets, and even life itself. About 4.6 billion years ago, in a quiet corner of our galaxy, a giant cloud of gas and dust began to collapse. This cloud, called a solar nebula, was probably the remnants of a dead star. Gravity pulled everything towards the center, causing it to spin faster and faster. As the cloud spun, it flattened into a disk, like a spinning pizza dough. At the center of the disk, the pressure and heat became so intense that a new star ignited, our Sun. Meanwhile, in the outer regions of the disk, smaller clumps of dust and gas were also coming together. These clumps collided and stuck to each other, gradually growing larger and larger. This is how planets, including our own Earth, were formed. The early solar system was a chaotic place, with collisions and gravitational interactions shaping the planets and their orbits. Over time, things settled down, and the solar system as we know it today emerged. The early Earth was a hot and violent place. It was constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets left over from the formation of the solar system. Volcanoes erupted across the surface, spewing lava and gases into the atmosphere. Over millions of years, Earth cooled down. Water vapor in the atmosphere condensed and fell as rain, forming the first oceans. The constant movement of Earth's tectonic plates shaped the continents and oceans, giving our planet its unique features. Earth is the only planet we know of that harbors life. The conditions here were just right for life to emerge and evolve. We have liquid water, a protective atmosphere, and a stable climate. A rare and precious combination in the vastness of space.